Hey you guys, I am back with another video, and today we're going to be talking all about 6 self-care and hygiene habits that I've incorporated in my life in order for me to have more peace. So if you've been going through anything, if you are in a rut, don't know what to do, don't know how you can get yourself out of it, today's video is going to give you some practical tips and things that I've tried, things that have worked for me. So if any of that intrigues your little mind, make sure you stick around and stay tuned. So let's jump right into it. So as I was stating, these last few weeks, they have been really, I just felt kind of off. And if I'm being real honest with you, it's just some days I feel my highest self and some days I don't feel good at all. And so what I've been doing over the last few weeks, maybe the last month or so, these things right here. So the first one I started, y'all know I'm a prayer. I always pray, but usually I pray to myself or I write my prayers. So these last month or so, the last few weeks or so, I've been praying my prayers out loud. So I'm not saying, well, it is. I'm just talking to God out loud. Usually I talk to him in my head, when I'm in the shower, out and about. But I felt the need to just pray out loud, because sometimes you have to hear yourself pray in order for you to feel better, to feel, whatever it takes to get you out of that funk. So I started praying my prayers out loud, you guys. And I tell you, it has really been making a tremendous difference in my life, because I'm telling you guys, life will get to lifing. And as I always say, adulthood will get to adulting. And you look up and boy, your mind is just clouded, just a whole bunch of craziness. So I started praying out loud. Habits that has brought me a lot more peace these last few weeks is I limit my time on social media. If you noticed, I don't show up on social media every day, like 3-4 times a day like I used to. Sometimes I just need that break to clear my head, because when you're on social media all the time, and especially those of you that may do this for a living, you are on there all the time. See, I have a 9 to 5, so those 8 hours, I tend to schedule things, but you can be on social media so much that it will mentally drain you, because everything is bombarded with you at the same time. So taking a detox from social media, it's nothing wrong with taking a break, you guys, for your mental health, for your well-being, your spiritual being. Sometimes you just need to unwind and unplug from social media altogether, because sometimes you looking at everything else that everybody else got going on, it can kind of get you in that comparison mode. And that was another thing that had me so down, is because when I look at my social media, when I look at my the views and stuff that I get on my videos, it's not way as near as I think it should be. But it's just whatever YouTube feel they want to push, they'll push it out. So that's why I say I had to get off social media, because I got caught up in the comparison and it just made me just depressed. So I had to take a step back and say, you know what? I'm doing the very best I can. I do have a 9 to 5, which, you got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, I can't just kill myself trying to show up on social media every day, all day. So that's why I always batch create my videos. And as you've seen lately, I've not been putting out 3 videos because it was just too much. So for my mental space and my capacity, I had to take a step back and just narrow it down, because at the end of the day, stress, honey, will kill you. It nearly took your girl out last year. So I'm very mindful when I feel myself getting in that rut or getting depressed or anything like that. These are what's been helping me. And sometimes you have to switch it up, because something that may have worked for you 6 months ago may not necessarily work for you now at the present moment. So you got to be mindful that stop comparing yourself to other people on social media, because again, social media is entertainment and people are going to only show you the highlights of their life. So when you get caught up, and I'm talking to myself as well, when you get caught up in, trying to compare yourself to where you think you should be and where you think you want to go, and then you see somebody else doing the exact same thing that you want to do, but their channel is growing at a rapid pace. And I'm like, oh my God, what is the problem? But that is why I say you have to know how to stay in your own lane. And I'm learning that every day that I wake up, because I can only do the best that I can do. And when I've done my best, I have to be okay with that. So I want you guys to be okay with that as well, because at the end of the day, you can't be like somebody else. You can't do what somebody else. You can do it, but you got to put your own personality in it. You got to put your own flavor to it. That's what's going to help you stand out. Third thing that I've been doing, self-care habits that has brought me more peace, is I try to do at least one thing that nourishes my soul on a daily basis, whether that's listening to a podcast, listening to something motivational. I know lately I've been on Dane Wire's videos. I just love his content, and it's very therapeutic for me. It's very uplifting. Listen to some gospel, listen to some R&B, something that's going to uplift you and feed your soul. Read you some Bible verses. I always tell you guys, I'm not a Bible scholar, but I do have my index cards where I read out scriptures just to remind myself of who I am, who God says I am, because the world will highlight you and build you up just to tear you down. And so you got to know at the end of the day whose you are and who you are. And it all starts with you feeding your soul. What are you doing on a daily basis, big or small, to pour back into you, to nourish your soul? Because at the end of the day, nobody can pour from an empty cup. You have to be okay and be aware of yourself. And when you feel yourself getting in that rut or getting in a funk that you can't get out, get your favorite scripture and just keep repeating it repeating it out loud, reminding yourself, you got this. You can do it. You are worthy of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. You deserve it. You have to keep reminding yourself of that, because the world, I'm telling you, they will put different labels on you. They will tell you who they think you should be, but you got to know, like you know who you are, and that will dictate the direction that you head in your life. Self-care habits that I've incorporated in my life over the last week or month or so to bring me more peace is accepting things for what they are. And as I piggyback off of YouTube, I got so depressed because it was like, I do all this work and I put in all this time. I'm trying to, grow my channel. I'm trying to, get get things that help me, like, a new microphone, something like that, or trying to get, a better ring light, which I did do that, just little things like that. But I had to realize that, what, YouTube's algorithm gonna keep doing what it's gonna do, and it's up to me to either let it stress me or either let it, motivate me to keep going. And so what I've been doing is just, if things are not going right, at home, accepting the things that I cannot change and being okay with that instead of stressing about it. And I know you probably like, LaTersa, that's easier said than done, because when life get to life and things get to happening, it's just human nature. We worry. And so my advice to you is, like I'm telling myself, is if it's something in your power you can change, then change it. If not, worrying about it is not going to do you a bit of good. I'm telling you, it's like in a rocking chair. You keep going backwards and forth, and you hoping something to change, hoping and praying something different to change, but it's not going to change unless you get up and do something different. And accepting the things that you cannot change, that will bring you so much peace, you guys, so much joy in your heart. A lot of us carry guilt, mommy guilt, a guilt from the past. We can't change it. So accepting that whatever that was is a part of life. You made the mistake. You got to keep going. You can't stay stuck. And it's the same with me, with, social media, growing my, business. You have to be patient, and you have to know that if long as you are running your race and doing the best that you absolutely can, then that's what you have to be okay with. Because worrying yourself about something that you can't change, it's not going to do you a bit of good. And so what I've been doing is making sure I put out quality videos and quality content for you guys, because I know you guys love to see, you know, my cleaning videos, especially my hygiene videos. But that's another thing that was bothering me. You know, I'm not this rich YouTuber. I'm a single mom with 2 kids, and boy, it ain't no joke. So you won't be seeing me going hygiene shopping every week. That's not in my budget. You won't be seeing me going to get the latest thing. It's not in my budget. When I'm able to do it, then of course I'm gonna take you guys along for the ride. But going hygiene shopping and all that just to be going shopping, I don't have money like that to throw away. I mean, I wish I was that rich girl or whatever. And even if I was, I wouldn't just be going out shopping just because. I shop for things that I know I need. And that is what I'm encouraging you guys to do. Don't be so quick to go out and do this stuff when you know it's not in your budget. Don't be so quick to go out because everybody else is doing it. And I know it's easier said than done, because honey, I have been on the hype. You get to looking at your favorite YouTubers and you see them on all these lavishing trips, and you see them going here, going, and it can bother you at times, because I'm just being honest, you guys. This video is going to be very transparent. It gets me down sometimes because I'm not able to do all that, and I'm okay with that, but it's like I want to do more, but I just can't. And so that's why I say I had to do this video, because I know that a lot of you guys struggle with some of the same things. You may not be a YouTuber, but it may be your small business, or it may be you're struggling with your 9 to 5, whatever the case may be. It all brings about stress. And that's not what we want to do here on this channel, is be stressful. That's why I'm so on this self-care train, because if we don't take care of ourselves, you're not planning to be here for the long haul. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Next self-care habit that I've been incorporating in my life to bring me more peace and to keep me from being stressed is I do one thing a day that makes me laugh. Sometimes it be 2 or 3. It just all depends on what type of day it is. But I can sit up and watch comedy all day long. You know, if I can put a smile on somebody's face by making my little corny jokes, or even just sitting there listening to my son tell his jokes, that's all joy to me. So do something that makes you laugh, because laughter is good for the soul. And then laughter is also a form of therapy. You know, I remember years ago in my 20s when, you know, I had my nervous breakdown and I was in a psych ward. The thing they kept reiterating to me the whole time I was there was, find something that makes you laugh. Laughter can be a very great form of therapy, as well as journaling. That's where I learned. Y'all be thinking I be just talking out my behind, but I started journaling because I was in the psych ward. That was one of the therapy sessions that taught me how to write my thoughts out, how to get that stuff out my head. And that's why I'm so keen about, you know, journaling and, you know, writing your scriptures on your index card and reciting to yourself, because sometimes you have to reprogram your mind, because sometimes the reason why we're so stressed and we are in a rut and we, you know, don't have peace in our life, because our minds are just mentally bombarded with a bunch of trash that we need to detox and get rid of, because if not, it's just going to keep poisoning your life and you won't have any peace. And I tell people at this age, I'm gonna be 45, you guys, in a couple of months, and my happiness, the joy, the peace, you can't put a price on that. So I want you guys to be mindful of that. And then the last 2 steps that I'm going to share with you of self-care habits that I've been incorporating to bring about more peace in my life is I started putting just a little tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in my bath, and as well as in my water. So that will keep me, you know, my pH balance. If you having problems with your pH balance being off, put you like a half a cup of apple cider vinegar in your bath water and just soak and just detox. Sometimes you just need to detox your body as well. And when I tell you, when your body is clean, your mind is clean, all of that plays a big part in you being peaceful, having peace. And then just drinking that, a little teaspoonful of apple cider vinegar in your water every day, it kind of helps. Like, I don't have any lemons, so y'all know I always be going about my home remedies, but I always try to incorporate that to make sure I get my water in, because lately I haven't been just liking drinking just plain old water. So I've been trying to spruce it up with like different things, and I was out of lemons, so I did the apple cider vinegar. And then my last and final self-care habit that I've been doing is taking warm bubble baths. And I usually take them at least once or twice a month, but honey, these last few weeks I've been taking about 2 to 3 times a week, just soaking in a bubble bath, you know, after I've cleaned myself up in the shower, and then just getting in that shower, getting in that bath and just soaking. If you saw my last video on self-care motivation, I showed you some things that I do for my bath, and that's where I listen to Pandora, have my gospels on, or even what I've been really loving lately is the sound of rain. I've been plugging that in on YouTube and just hearing that rain just really brings about peace in my life. And I let that play while I soak in the bathtub, do my puzzles or journal. And that's what I encourage you guys to. Any of these steps, take 1 or 2, apply it to your life, and see if that brings about more peace in your life, because it's truly my heart's desire to see you guys be peaceful, to see you guys live your best life, to see you guys smell and look your absolute best. I want you guys to know that I'm praying for each and every one of my sunshines on a daily basis. For like these types of video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Let YouTube know that you like this type of content. I love you guys. Make sure you guys are following me on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll see you on my next video.